Hi everyone, I'm Omar Allibhoy from Tapas Revolution Restaurants, and I'm going to show you how to make Torreznos con Mojo Dulce, which is a recipe that it's more commonly found in tapas bars and restaurants, mainly because it involves deep frying. But I came up with a recipe that it's sort of emulates the same, but it's a lot healthier and easier to do in your own home. So there is two elements to this recipe. One, which is the main ingredient, which is the porky pig. And I chose to use this already cut because it's the more common to find in the supermarkets. But you could use the whole piece as well. And then we have some new potatoes as well that we're going to use as a garnish. And then the lovely Mojo Dulce, which we'll need red chilies, which you can use any sort of dried chilies or even chili powder. A bit of salt, some dried oregano, black peppercorns, cinnamon for a bit of sweetness, cumin for a bit of an Arab spice as well, extra virgin olive oil, Spanish of course, and some white Spanish wine, as well some sugar, sherry vinegar, very important, particularly because it's a lot stronger than all the other vinegars in terms of acidity, and a sweet pimenton, a smoky one. First, we're going to start by scoring the skin of the pork belly, mainly because it is the ingredient that takes the longest in cooking. It will be in the oven for about 4 hours. With a paring knife, a sharp knife, cut through the skin. That will help it to crisp up. That's where the magic is. And now I'm going to rub a really generous amount of rock salt into the skin. So sprinkle it all over and sort of make a little bit of pressure so that it penetrates in the pork belly. That's what will make it crispy. As the pork belly is going to cook for 3-4 hours, may take even longer, we need to sort of help with a little bit of moist. And that's what the white wine is going to do. We're just going to pour a little bit here. This is going to help for the meat not to dehydrate too much and to stay nice and tender and moist. But as well, very important not to pour it over the skin, otherwise that will prevent it from crisping up, which is sort of what we want, that mixture of very soft shredded pork with quite a lot of crispy crackling on top. It's going to go into the oven at 160 degrees for about 3-4 hours. You'll have to check at some point and see how your oven works. Now the second part of this recipe, which is the sauce, and as important, and it's the Mojo Dulce. Mojo Dulce was a bit of an invention, that I made in the restaurants. In the Canary Islands, where the mojo comes from, you have mojo verde, mojo picon, but never mojo dulce, dulce meaning sweet. Put a saucepan into high heat, and we're going to add about 50 ml of water. We are going to make a really nice caramel with this sugar. So the water first is there so that I don't burn the sugar. This will help the sugar melt and become amber in color very slowly. And now we just need to be patient and let it all melt and become caramel. Don't stir it, don't put any spoon inside. It will become caramel by itself. Mojo Dulce is particularly a delicate sauce, okay? So I'm going to prepare the liquids, which is the extra virgin olive oil, the vinegar and the water, just so they are ready for when I add my spices. Because if I leave the spices too long in the caramel, they will burn very, very quickly. Because remember, the caramel can burn quicker than oil in a pan. While the syrup turns into caramel, which is just about 2 minutes away to turn into the color that I'm looking for without getting burned, which is sort of this amber color. I'm just going to finely chop these red chilies. You probably just noticed that I haven't touched the inner part of the chili. Literally, I just grab them with my fingers on the outside, and even I remove from one knife to the other like that. And the reason is because these chilies are super spicy, and you won't be able to remove how spicy they are with water. And if I touch my eyes or other parts of my body, I'm going to be in trouble for the whole shirt. Now it's the moment of truth, okay? Pay a lot of attention because this is quite a delicate process. Take a look at the caramel. First, I want to show you the color. Quite a dark amber, dark brown color. That's what we are looking for. If the caramel burns, it will become incredibly bitter. So you'd rather discard it and start again than to make a very bitter mojo dulce. We are gonna go straight with the chilies. They are sort of going to fry in that caramel. With the coarser spices, the oregano will be one of them. 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns, cracked black pepper. Sweet paprika, sweet pimenton, 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons of cumin, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a good pinch of salt. Give it a nice stir for the spices to toast in the caramel. Don't leave the spices toasting in the caramel for longer than, seriously, 20-30 seconds. And always stirring. And now stay away so that in case this bubbles over the saucepan, and add the extra virgin olive oil, the vinegar and the water. This will stop all the spices from burning. And it will dilute that caramel with all the spices, will dilute and dissolve into the water, the vinegar and the oil, and will become a very rich sort of caramelly sauce. And now we just need to bring it back to the boil and let it simmer for 10 minutes until it has the right consistency. The mojo dulce has been simmering for about 10 minutes or so. And you need to judge it yourself. You know, some burners are faster than others. But really what I'm looking is for a certain consistency. Because this is hot, it feels very, very liquidish. But as you let it drip, you kind of feel that as soon as it gets warm, a bit chillier, it's going to be quite thick in consistency. And what I'm looking for is slightly runnier than honey. So I think I've got it here now, and I'm just gonna switch it off and let it cool down before it goes into the glass blender. The mojo dulce has cooled down for about 10 minutes. It's literally just to be gentle to the blender. And now I'm just pouring it. All I'm going to do is to bring it into a smooth puree and cool it down in the fridge. I've just took the pork belly out of the oven and it's looking really good. It has totally dehydrated the wine, as you can see. And now I'm going to add some baby new potatoes that will cook in the same tray. It's quite convenient. I like one pot type of dishes or things that go into roasting tins. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water, again, without touching the skin of the pork belly. Otherwise it will never get crispy. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil, some salt, a bit of pepper, and some fresh thyme. And straight back into the oven for another 1.5 hours to 2. And the potatoes will be just tender at that point. It's been about 45 minutes since I've put the new potatoes in, and it's a good time to turn them around. As well, I take the opportunity to show you the look of the pork belly as well, how it's crisping up, and sort of the meat seems like it's nearly ready, but because the oven is in such a low temperature, 160, you know, things take time. So we are gonna wait for another 45 minutes and these potatoes will be ready and that pork belly will be ready too. And 4 hours later, the pork belly should be ready by now. Yeah, I can tell the potatoes are ready, at least because of the mini jacket potato look that they have with the wrinkly skin and how they sort of fallen by the wrong way because they've been cooked so slowly. And take a look. And we have the lovely sauce over here. Take a look. I said it was a little runnier, that sort of runny honey. And now all we have to do is to drizzle it over the top. I'm gonna cut through so that you see how tender and moist is inside, yet how crispy is on the outside. Take a look at how it falls apart, yet very crispy on the outside, but very moist and tender on the inside. And the potatoes should be fully cooked as well. Let's cut through the middle of one. Take a look. Super simple recipe. It takes a long time to wait for it, but it's well worth it because it's just so easy. Potatoes and pork belly into a tray. I hope you enjoyed it and that you tried it, and please subscribe to the channel for more recipes and leave some comments on the comment box below and let us know which other recipes you would like us to do. Adiós.